defense index has plummeted 8% this month. What's leading to this correction? What is the outlook for key defense players? Anushi joins in with a deep dive. Well, thanks for that, Tamanna. So, just a few months ago, the narrative was about overall defense, the growth story, how the valuations were shaping up. But in the last 1 month or also, we've seen a decline in terms of where the overall index sector performance is concerned. In fact, if you look at the Nifty 50 and the Nifty Defense Index in particular, we are looking at a huge gap, and considering has seen about an 8% of fall in this last 1 month itself. This is in contrast to what we've seen a year-to-date picture, where the index has seen over 19% of gains, double of what Nifty 50 has clocked in so far. In fact, if you're looking at the overall picture in terms of how these major defense players have performed in this 1 month to year-to-date period, we are looking at cuts across the board. This includes HAL, Bharat Electronics, Cochin Shipyard as well. The most prominent one being Zen Technologies, seeing cuts in the year-to-date basis as well as the 1 month period that we are looking at. Well, this is in contrast to the year-to-date picture, wherein most of these companies have seen a solid 30 to 40% of returns overall. So this is the scenario that is playing out, and a lot of these has to do with the first quarter results also. If you look at the first quarter results and see if the companies have beat or missed estimates, it's a mixed picture that we are looking at in terms of here, with the public owned companies like HAL, Bharat Electronics, Bharat Dynamics and Cochin Shipyard seeing a beat in terms of where the Q1 results were. But over here, Mascout, Data Patterns and Zen Technologies disappointed in terms of where the first quarter numbers were. Particularly for Zen Technologies, it's not the first quarter wherein we've seen a weak set of numbers, but that's reflected now in the last 2-3 quarters, mainly due to the lack of ordering that we're looking at. But it's the outlook going forward which is important to keep track of, because if we are just watching the commentaries in terms of how these companies are doing and the order book also, the order book continues to remain healthy. Now, HAL has about 6 times of a book-to-bill ratio with over 1.89 lakh crore of order book. A similar picture is what we are looking at over here. So, the growth picture remains constructive in terms of how the future upcoming quarters are going to be, third quarter and fourth quarter being the most prominent ones. Valuations also, if we are looking at, or more or less we are looking at easing of these multiples going forward. So that is something that we are seeing. In terms of how the analysts are recommending this one, HAL and BL, the stocks with the most buys that we are looking at, with a potential return of 24 to 11%, while for Data Patterns also 83% is the overall buy rating that we are seeing with a potential of 26%. Zen Technologies is the least one with a 40% of a buy rating and with a 36% of a potential. So this is the overall picture that we are seeing for these